Most people misunderstand Windranger support completely. They sit in trees, throw random shackles, and wonder why the hero feels useless. Today, I'll break down what this hero actually is. A tempo, lane dominating support that wins games before 25 minutes, and how you should play her to climb MMR. To get a grasp of what kind of a support a hero is, we need to look at the base stats. What we see here is really good attack range, quite good damage, and a huge nuke level 1. She's also universal, so that means stats you will naturally get will give you a lot. All of these things mean she's really strong laning support, and the last thing you want to do on the lane is stay back and not hit enemy heroes. I think this is the main reason why some people, and you know what I'm talking about, hate the hero. If you aren't aggressive on the lane with the Windranger, you're playing her wrong. So when you're playing her, you're supposed to right click enemy heroes a lot. You are really good at getting free hits in, so it's the perfect hero to practice that. Learn how to play around aggro and try to harass enemy heroes a lot. You need to be consistently top 3 hero damage at 5 minutes, so during the laning stage, no exceptions. This means Windranger struggles against sustain lanes, as she's usually not allowed to abuse her ability to wear heroes down. You don't want to lane versus heroes that will just heal off your damage, unless you can all-in them, but for the most part it's not possible. She also struggles in teams that she doesn't have reliable setup for her spells. If you are facing anything else than healers and you have stuns in your teams, congrats, you can pick Windranger. She's usually way better as a position 4, as then you worry less about pushing your lane. However, if you learn how to properly harass, playing her as a 5 is okay as well. Just keep in mind that this will also mean you're more likely to go for items like 4 Staff or Solar Crest instead of Athos or Maelstrom. As for starting items, I suggest getting a lot of stats. Fairy Fire is good as well, Stick if it's a good lane for it, but stats allow you to abuse your right click a lot. Don't forget about Blood Grenade, Sentry and a Tango. Later on, depending on the boots of your choice, we'll get to that later, make sure you have enough mana to use your power shot a lot. That means Mangoes, Range Drop and Clarity are good, and even better if you actually don't go for Arcanes. If that's the case, even a cheeky Null Talisman after boots is fine. Skill build is pretty simple. You always want to max out your W at level 7. The only question is, what spell you take at level 2. You will have lanes that getting Shackle is optimal, so it can really get you a kill, but generally, Windrun is really efficient spell for trading. Remember, early on your main job is to wear people down with right clicks, and Windrun allows you to do that so well. If you feel like you can combo a hero to kill him, feel free to get Shackle. Other than laning, one thing you need to keep in mind that your power shot is an amazing spell level 1. Deals massive damage from massive range, secures range creeps and slows. A general advice on how to hit it consistently early is to look at the creeps. You want to preferably secure a creep and eventually harass enemy hero. Do not use it to straight up harass, as it will push the lane, unless you can get a kill with that. Find some angles you can take to hit enemy without getting creeps in the way, as you have to remember, your power shot has reduced damage with every unit it passes. Your ultimate is also really important in terms of pushing, even if you don't have damage items, so preferably you have that for the second catapult, so around minute 10. If that's the case, you are very likely to open towers with it, so aim to get levels for that moment. Gameplay past the laning stage is pretty straightforward. With Killshot Facet, your most important spell is Power Shot, so you want to play around that. That means any kind of setup is welcome, so you should naturally play towards heroes that have any kind of control that will let you hit your power shot. With that in mind, there are few things you need to understand and remember to play the hero well, as they are not as obvious as they seem, unless you actually think about them. First thing is levels. Your power shot scales really well, and even Facet does as well. You need to get levels on this hero. The last thing you want is standing in trees waiting for a chance to get a kill. You can afford to do that, yes, but only after you max out the power shot. With that in mind, at level 7 you're really strong, and hopefully this will be around time your other cores have their timings, like a blink on initiator hero. Make sure you're ready with smokes at this point. The other thing is, you need to understand that your ultimate is an amazing tool to get towers, even if you don't have damage items. Not only that, but with your E, you're also able to tank tower hits. So preferably, after you get a kill, you actually open a tower with your ultimate. Damage from your W and any kind of setup is usually enough to get your team kills. So if you don't need to, keep the ultimate for towers, at least tier 1s. Mid-game with this hero is, again, super easy in terms of macro gameplay. You want to run around your stun setup heroes and power shot the targets, and if you need to, shackle after their stun. While is it a good spell itself to use, you should practice how to get into position and hit it consistently. But don't be afraid to randomly throw it in teamfights. Randomness of them can actually lead you to getting game-winning shackle. Do not run in and tank hits, you're not really good at that. Your wind run allows you to do that a bit, but always keep in mind that one power shot more in teamfight is usually more impactful than you clicking your ultimate on a target than dying in counter initiation. I think what's way harder on the hero than playing it is the itemization. You've got so many angles you can go for, and the important thing is to itemize correctly. The main idea is to think about what your team lacks and fill that with your items, as you're quite universal. When we look at the pro matches, a lot of Windrangers tend to get Guardian Greaves, and I think this item is always correct if nobody is getting it on your team. However, I think you don't really mind other heroes getting it, and that frees you up to do another build, where you go for Tranquil Boots and Drums. You naturally enjoy move speed, as your innate allows you to be simply faster than everyone else. There are a lot of other angles as well. You can buy Solar Crest or Glimmer and play like a defensive 5. Athos allows you to shackle targets easily, and Gleipnir actually works on Power Shot, making it wider as well. This is a good item if your team lacks lockdown. There's also a Blink angle that allows you to initiate for your team, but I think it's only strong if you lack any hero that does it. Windranger's job in teamfights is usually to stay back, use power shots, and commit only if it's safe. Eventually, there's also Diffusal and Maelstrom builds. Both are very greedy and not very optimal, I would say. But if you feel like you need to carry the game yourself or enemy has Medusa, you can get these items. Again, think of what your team needs. You got good spells, so items can be fixing your team's problems rather than enabling your game. As for the talents, level 10 you take all stats. It's actually a quite cool thing to have a talent like this. Level 15, up until recently I always took Windrun, but the Power Shot one allows you to push lanes better and is a must have in games where there are many units, like summons. Level 20, Shackle Shot is better, as you will rarely play around your ultimate, and if you ever get to level 25, usually having Undispellable E is better, as enemies might actually address you with a nullifier. Windranger is not a late game hero. She can be okay there, but your main job is to overwhelm the map in the mid game and get a lot of kills with Power Shot. Keep that in mind. You don't want to be farming defensively on this hero, as if you play her support, she doesn't really scale that well. Aim to have a good presence before 20 minutes and then get all the objectives on the map. She wins games when she hits level 7 and kills enemies, not by farming. If you don't want slacks to hate you, use that information. That's it for today. Subscribe to the channel for more educational Dota content. Let me know in the comments which hero I should do next, and as always, see you!